Hello, welcome to a very, very special live edition of Swapping Joysticks, your home for LGBTQIA plus gaming, streaming, and just general titter-tatter. Gossip. Lots and lots of gossip.
Careful.
And I am joined, as always, by this side, Ed.
Yeah, do you want to point in the right direction?
No, it's because you moved. You threw me off at the beginning. You were like, you need to get my right side. We need to move over.
Always sit here. What are you saying?
Ed has to be first in the Zoom call. All right. Ed is in the one in the top corner there, whinging and whining and moaning. It's Ed Nightingale. How are you doing, Ed?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Should we talk about the especially the two elephants in the room, but that's a bit, isn't it?
Wow. How dare you?
Oh my god.
Are you calling an elephant?
You so kindly not only came and visited once, but twice, and now I've unintentionally just
Unintentionally insulted. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, welcome. We are joined by two very special guests who are taking their time, out of their busy, very, very busy schedules of streaming and everything else that they do, to join us here to have a little chat. Marignetic. Hello.
Hello. I'm happy to be back, and I'm glad it's working fine this time. Yay.
We don't say it. It lasted 15 minutes last time. So once we pass the 15-minute countdown, hopefully we'll be good.
We got this.
And we're also joined by the one, the only Joesephyr.
Hello. How are you doing? How's it going?
Very well. How are you doing?
Happy to be here. Happy to see that, it's working this time.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking all about the ending of no, we're not.
Oh my god. Of nothing.
You wish.
No.
I mean, some of us are ready.
Well, I'm not. But
Listen, I have a story, an opinion piece going up tomorrow that is going to be troll to shit. So can't wait for that.
No opinions allowed.
Sounds exciting.
We're going to be talking about a lot of games that we've been playing, as well as like the BAFTAs, because they've been announced, or the BAFTA games nominees, and but don't worry, there will be no spoilers. We've all, two of us have finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think Marignetic, you're actually past where I am now, because I was about to pop into your stream. I think it was either yesterday or the day before, and I was like, oh no, you are just where I got to. So you are a little bit further than me now.
Without spoiling, whereabouts are you?
Beach.
Or like which chapter?
The chapter number.
6, I think it is.
Okay.
I just
6.
started 6.
Yeah.
I just got off a boat.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Should we just?
Well, yeah. I mean, Rebirth is the one game that we've all been playing recently, which is let's say the biggest game of the moment. I would say
Biggest game of the year.
It's funny because I actually haven't touched it in the past week at least. When I finished it, I haven't played it at all since. I kind of played it. I was like, yep, next game. Because the releases are relentless at the minute. It doesn't stop.
It's true.
very true.
I mean, there's so many other games like Dragon's Dogma is coming out, and I want to. It comes out just as I take a week and a half off work. Although the first few days I'm away.
But lucky you.
Well, it's because I haven't taken any time off, and I have to take it before the end of the month, or I lose it. So, but I'm going to be probably streaming and playing Dragon's Dogma pretty much every day. While Ed works in the background. It's
your games are my games, and my games are your games.
My games I will play while you're working.
Are you going to have you already done the character?
No, I haven't. I'm going to go in completely from scratch.
Listen, that character, the creations I've seen some people make,
they are so good.
Do you see the Pikachu?
Yes, I did. That was But I saw Timothy Chalamet, and I'm like, this is literally him. What the heck?
Oh, yeah. So I actually played a bit of. I know we started talking about Rebirth and then going straight to Dragon's Dogma, but
welcome. This is what we do.
This is. I actually downloaded and played a bit of Dragon's Dogma 1 for the first time about a week ago on the Steam Deck, and it runs really, really well. And I got to say, it is great. I really enjoyed what I played of it. I only played a couple of hours, but the opening section, there's this monster that you fight in the prologue that's it's got a snake for a tail, or a snake's head for a tail. Then it's got a wolf on its back, and then it's a lion. Yeah, and you have to.
I literally did the same thing the other day, where I downloaded it and put it on my Steam Deck because I wanted to see how good it was. I played it for a while back, but not really. So I went back to it, and Steam Deck's great way to play it.
It is, because it's quite small, and you don't expect it to be kind of top of the line graphics when it's on that. So it's not like you're playing it on a giant OLED screen that's showing all the little faults of it. So it's just like a fun RPG you can play on the go. And I really like the combat where you kind of climb on things and you can slash away while you're riding it.
It's very Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah,
yes,
very
honestly,
I kept it cute.
So I played a bit of the first one, like when it first came out back on PS3, but I think it came out around the very similar time to like Skyrim and Demon Souls and loads of other really, really good RPGs. And for me, it just sort of didn't stand out and just felt a bit generic. But then the more I've seen of the sequel, I'm like, holy shit, this looks great. I really, really want to play it now.
Same. The Monster Hunter of it all was what drew me in. Like when I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, this combat's. I mean, it's Capcom, so it's like this is giving Monster Hunter vibes. The big monsters, the big sort of spells and skills and spectacle of it all, and we've just come off of Rebirth, and more please. And yeah, it just seems to be ticking all the boxes for the kinds of thing I'm looking for right now. Though I don't know if you found this, Ben, when playing the first one. Very easy to get lost.
Oh god, yeah.
Like very
there's
easy.
No minimap.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Although
I've actually not played it, the first one.
No? Are you going to be playing the sequel?
I do really like the look of it, so I probably want to jump in. But there's like I'm obviously now playing Rebirth. I want to finish that first, so I don't know if I'm going to start it when it comes out. Maybe a bit later.
Probably not if you're going to finish Rebirth first.
I don't know. I'll probably be playing this until the summer. Like,
not a small game. I finished Rebirth in 4 days. Oh god!
What?
Did you sleep?
Did you not sleep?
Yeah. No, I didn't. Like all in the name of content.
Wow.
I went a little too hard on it, I think. And I'm like, I'm gonna go back in for hard mode and get the platinum trophy later.
Yeah. That platinum isn't it? I mean, I've got no the amount of respect I have for anybody that got the platinum in remake, let alone like trying to get in Rebirth.
Again?
Sorry, yeah.
Are we doing this again?
Well, we didn't the last time. Those of you who listen and subscribe to us, the audio version, they were like, hey, why wasn't there one last week? Anybody that tuned into the Twitch stream, they know that we did bring this up. But unfortunately, the OBS was crashing and it died after about 15 minutes. So we'll bring it up again. So Marignetic, congratulations again on getting the platinum for remake. Do you have any tips for somebody who might be struggling?
Oh my god. Listen, do I have tips? To be honest, what are you struggling with hard mode, like the hard mode playthrough of it? Because
right. I mean, get good is the obvious one. So listen, I have played a lot of remake.
Yeah.
I've got all the trophies apart from 3.
Got a message from Hard on the screen.
Get good. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. I've got all the trophies but 3.
Yeah.
I have done hard mode up until literally the final boss.
Oh, you can
so I've done pretty much all of it. Yeah. So my plan was before Rebirth, I'm going to play through Remake again. I'll do it on stream and I'm going to just do it on easy mode just to like remind myself of the story. But once I get to that final boss, I'm going to flip over to my other save file so that I can just do that bit on hard and then just, just tick it off. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Partly because I got a bit bored halfway through and was like, listen, I need to save myself a Rebirth and I've played enough of this. So I had a final stream. I was like, right, this is it. We're going to get these last 3 trophies.
Yeah.
Which was finishing it on hard mode. Before that was getting all of the dresses, which is a pain. I hate it. I've replayed those like 3 chapters so many times, even with a guide, and I still can't seem to get the right dresses, and I don't understand
Honestly, that's to be honest, I think a lot of people found, I think the cloud one is not that straightforward, but as I understood, it was also based on side quests, but
I think it is.
It's just the choices in the dialogue, isn't it? It's been a while since I did it.
Well, it's that, and it's the number of side quests that you do. So if you don't do any of them, then you get the shit dress, and if you do all of them, you get the best dress. And now I'm trying to like get the middle ones and try and get the right number. And
yeah, I remember.
Anyway, I finished the last chapter that I needed to for that, and was like, right, we're gonna get the trophy, and then it didn't ping.
Oh,
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah. So now we'll just do the final boss. And then I just died immediately, which was awful. And then the third one is getting the super boss.
Yeah.
But it turns out I haven't unlocked that yet because you have to do Aerith things in the combat simulator, which is, guess what? Back in the same chapters that the dresses are in. And I was like, I can't sit and do this entire thing again on stream. So I literally rage quit. Didn't raid, just
it's just a case of mustering up the willpower to do it.
Yeah.
I think.
By the way,
I totally get that though. That would really frustrate me if you like. That's just one thing you need to do, but you have to go back and you have to play quite a bit to unlock that bit in the combat. You have to fight Hell House again to get to get that combat simulator open. So I feel you.
I've got to squeeze in a little bit. We've had a massive raid from Losse. Thank you so much, by the way. We are welcome everybody that's just tuning in. I'm BiggusBennus. We have a very special occasion. Go Swapping Joysticks. We normally pop it up on YouTube and on the old podcast.
It's usually just me and you.
It's usually just me and you chatting, but we're having a little test / new fancy thing each month where we're going to go and do a live episode, and this is the first one. So thank you so much for dropping by. And yeah, the alerts, because I'm doing this through a web thing. There are no alerts, unfortunately, or even any like commands or anything. But everybody go and click on Losse and give her a follow because she is fantastic. And thank you so much. And I'll have to also at some point slide in the DMs and see invite you on here because we'd love that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm calling you out right here. I'm gonna put you really on the spot.
Yeah. And you can tell us about The Sims because I've never played it.
What?
Really?
Neither have I actually.
With none of them.
With you?
No,
even like as a kid.
No.
I was going
Also,
to say.
Losse so other thing as well about this. So this is the live thing. It was meant to be last week, but we had issues, and it was like tech issues. Not well. So last week, and it was in the middle of oh my gosh, the streaming week, which Losse also was taking part in, and she raised £3,111.
Wow.
And
That's
what happened at work
amazing.
today?
And at work today, they did the fundraising awards, like the fundraising monthly meeting, and she got the Superstar Fundraiser of the Month award, Star of the Month, exactly. So congratulations!
Yay, congrats! That's amazing.
Oh, I had no idea because I think
what did you not get then?
Oh yeah, I didn't. I was nominated and failed in my category.
He came running in here with his laptop. Was like, I've been nominated. I've been nominated. And we sat and watched it. And I went to someone else. I was like, sorry, man.
They're gonna say something nice about me, and they did, and then just gave it to someone else. I was like, oh. So Losse, you have to tell me what it feels like to be a winner. But that was a real pleasure. So yeah.
Anyway, so we're talking about remake and me not getting the platinum trophy.
Oh, yeah.
We should definitely move on from.
Let's go back to
Do you guys
failings.
typically do platinum trophy hunts? Because I do.
No. If it's a really easy game, so like Spider-Man, I was like, that's a really easy one.
I've got all 3 of those.
The platinum took about an extra 20 minutes to get from what I'd already done. So I was like, that's fine. But if it's a game I really like, then I'm like, oh, I want to prove how much I love it by getting the platinum.
I'm
and
like
then I
that.
just rage when it doesn't happen.
Well, what we do is we've got, because my friends will typically come over at a weekend and we'll pick a game that one of us knows really, really well, and we'll kind of all sit and watch them play it. So we do it on my profile. So we have a like collection of platinum trophies. We're at 160, 170 between us. So it's become like this scrapbook of memories that we have of the games that we've played together, and it kind of gives it like an additional purpose beyond look how big my e-peen is. And but
E-peen.
Yeah, that's the term, right?
And that's what they're trying to win.
But for me personally, my goal has been to platinum every Final Fantasy game, and I've done 80% of them. Rebirth is going to take a while. You thought Remake was bad. Rebirth is worse.
Yeah. Are you aiming for the platinum then?
Yeah. Well, yeah. At some point, like I said, I need a break from it for a bit, but I'm going to go back to it and do it. Yeah. The only ones I have left to do that I'm aware of are Rebirth because it's new. 14.
Screw that.
14.
How on earth did you get the platinum for 14?
10,000 fates, Ben.
In 10,000 hours as well?
Do it for charity.
I already did. I did that last year. Right. Then 13, but you can only do that on PS3.
I've heard, yeah.
And then I've done 13.2 and Lightning Returns. I can't think. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 is the worst. 9 is hard.
Do you know what would make you an ultimate gamer? Get in the platinum for Crystal Chronicles.
You can't. There isn't one.
Isn't there?
No.
Oh, they don't want to encourage people to play that for more than
Do you know, I have a
few
story
hours.
with that, actually. I reviewed Crystal Chronicles Remastered before it came out. I had it early, and because obviously it was early, no one knew how the multiplayer was going to work. So I gave it this really glowing review because I love Crystal Chronicles, and then the multiplayer didn't work.
It's. I mean, I played that was the first Final Fantasy game I ever finished.
I loved it as a kid.
I think, or it might have been the second after 10. I can't remember if I'd played it before or after 10. But yeah, then I replayed it when they brought out the remaster stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this is terrible! Like, why did I like this? It's really annoying."
Did you have the Game Boy Advance that you like? I'm picking up my phone like it's a Game Boy Advance when I haven't. I have a Game Boy in front of me essentially. But did you have like a Game Boy Advance that you plugged into a GameCube so that you had the extra screens on the control?
No, I had I think I had a cheat cartridge plugged in so I could whiz through it.
Oh, that sounds like Ben.
Oh yeah, cheating is
Half the least
perfectly fine in games. By the way, Losay says, I want the new Final Fantasy game so bad. I love 16. Well, you're in luck because even better than that, you can play Remake, which is the first in the trilogy. And it sets up because, yeah, Rebirth. I think we might have discussed it last time. I'm not sure, but somebody was asking if they can go and like go straight into Rebirth.
No.
I would. You can. I would recommend.
There's a recap of the story, and I think you can. But obviously, you get a better. I feel like your experience is going to be better if you've played Remake.
Yeah,
and the original.
Yeah,
no,
and Ever Crisis, and everything else.
Yeah, no.
And you've watched Advent Children.
Oh God.
Oh God.
No, I only got halfway through the original. I think
this still is a big shame for you, Ben. In my eyes, anyway.
Well, it's all right. It's just add it to the list of disappointments.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So should we talk about like what we've been playing? So we're playing Rebirth at the moment. Is there any other thing that you want to bring up? And we're not going to talk about spoilers.
Yeah, we won't talk about spoilers, but we can still kind of talk a bit about like if we like it. And I'm sure there's one thing that we can all agree is amazing in Rebirth.
Is it Red 13 riding a chocobo?
Two things that we could all agree on. Because firstly, that, yes. And secondly, Queen's Blood.
Oh my God, I love that game.
It's good. It's really good.
I'm so glad you finally learned the name of it.
Yeah, I keep calling it Queen's Gambit, and I'm like, that's very...
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy just turns up and starts playing Chocobo cards.
I would watch that.
I would watch that. In that red-headed Bob. You've watched the Queen's Gambit, right?
No, I actually haven't.
Oh my God.
I mean, I vaguely know what it is, and I know she's in it.
I put one episode.
It's really good.
I put one episode on to fall asleep to.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I literally fell asleep in 10 minutes.
I've seen it.
Oh, good.
I put it on when you went to Las Vegas because I was like, oh, I'll put something on TV kind of on the iPad, and I put that on. And then, 10 minutes, I was out.
Great.
Well.
Yeah. I really liked it.
Wait, some people have different tastes. What was the audiobook I put on the other day that was the most boring thing in the world? And then one of my mods, Brenda, got really upset because she loved the book. Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's like an epic. I don't know. It's really, really popular in Spain. So I don't know. And like outside of the UK, I feel they're really popular. But
fantasy
I played it, and it was, although it was a bit kinky apparently, and you woke up and there was a sex bit.
Oh,
did I? Yeah, you said there was like, well, that was a bit saucy, that book last night.
I was definitely asleep.
Well, I wanted to.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
But yeah, Queen's Blood, like it's brilliant. I mean, have either of you played, or did you play much like Triple Triad or what's the other one?
I mean, card games have been a part of my life for a very long time. Like, I mean, Triple Triad I loved. Tetramaster not so much.
Tetramaster, that's the one.
That's the FF9. But before I ever did sort of content creation or anything, I used to travel to play Magic the Gathering and a lot of card games and stuff. And I was national champion for one year. And But Queen's Blood's depth, I would happily see that come out as a full-blown game, and I would play it. Like if they did a PvP client for Queen's Blood, I would be on it like that.
I want it as a mobile game. I want to take all of you on.
Apparently, they've said that because of its unexpected popularity, they're looking at expanding it.
Yeah, that was in an interview with Red Bull, I believe, and it's like,
okay,
to put my journo hat on, it's like one line in an interview at the very end where they're like, "Oh, we're looking at expanding it because it's had great response with the media," and I'm like, "Well, when was that? Like 2 months ago?" Like, so.
Okay.
I'd take that with a pinch of salt, but obviously people love Queen's Blood and SEO, so let's run headlines on it.
Oh, honestly, yeah, like the videos that I've got up of my Let's Play, when I've got Queen's Blood in there, it's like got 10 times as many views.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wanted to do a full guide on it, but I figured I'd missed the boat already because people are
go for it.
Death. But maybe I should. Maybe I should start doing more of that stuff because then maybe they'll take notice and go, people like this game. Maybe we'll make one.
Yeah, did you see there was a thread going around saying that they shouldn't be doing they shouldn't do a standalone Queen's Blood or anything like that because they've kind of neglected their actual card game, the Final Fantasy card game, the physical one, and they were saying they'd love a digital version of that, a bit like how Nintendo are going to bring the Pokemon card game, but like having the Final Fantasy card game that people actually buy and is a physical thing, having that as a digital thing first before Queen's Blood, because they claim that Queen's Blood was a lot of RNG. Which it is.
Funny you mentioned that, because the card game I mentioned that I did really well in was that one. I was a creator for FFTCG before I ever did anything else Final Fantasy related, and I used to commentate their world championships and stuff, so it's really interesting to hear that.
Do you think it would make a good digital card game?
No, honestly, I think that people underestimate how much resources it takes to do that, and it has a very cult following even to this day. Like I think it's just recently released its 22nd set, so it's been going for a while. I stopped playing it around the 10th set, but it's definitely got a very dedicated following, and it would be nice to see it expand further. But I think that if it hasn't happened by now, it's unlikely to happen. And there's also a Final Fantasy set coming out for Magic the Gathering sometime next year.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, they're doing a full-blown set for Magic next year, which may pull me back into card games after not playing them for about a decade. But yeah, no, I think that it would be nice, but because Queen's Blood is new and fresh, I'd quite like to see that. Like, yes, it would be nice to see FFTCG come in digitally, but I think 22 sets in, if they were going to do it, they'd have done it by now.
I'm trying to wean myself off Marvel Snap still.
Oh my god, Marvel Snap's good though.
It's brilliant. I've kind of forced myself to only play the last week of a season. So like when all of the challenges have unlocked, and then I go and blitz through them for 3 days and then put it on ice for a bit. Because otherwise,
that's an easy way to do it though. Honestly, I've realized this is like, I can just wait, and then there's multiple of the same thing, and they just unlock at the same time. Easy.
Yeah, it's much better to do 3 weekly challenges in 2 games rather than just wait for every 24 hours for a new thing to come out. Yeah.
They said Marvel Snap was inspiration for Queen's Blood as well.
I can see that.
Yeah, I could as well.
There's the sort of different deck styles and deck styles. That was.
Yeah, because
I will say Queen's Blood, you definitely have an advantage in the fact that you always go first. Because you always go first when you're playing Queen's Blood, and it definitely gives you an advantage. So I'd be keen to see how that translated to a PvP experience.
It can. I feel like with all things, when you go first, it can be an advantage. It can be a disadvantage, though.
You have more opportunity to take more forward.
You can work on what the person's laid down, and you can see how you can best counter that.
True. Yeah. But the strategy present in it is really good, and when you start I can't say anything because obviously you guys aren't far enough yet. It gets more in depth as you play it.
I know what you're thinking.
See, you can tell that 2 of us have finished it and the other 2 haven't.
I'm intrigued to see where it goes, because I'm okay with not playing Queen's Blood for a little while after that boat journey.
Oh, I loved it.
I did, and then I was like, oh my god. And then there was a finale, and I'm not gonna make it spoiler, but there was a finale to it, and it took me ages to beat that. And then they were like, surprise, there's another one. Oh!
There's no shame in restarting from the menu. It's fine.
Oh, I restarted multiple
all the
times.
time.
Honestly, on my Let's Play, I literally paused. I played it, and if I lost, I paused it until I got to until I knew I was going to win a game. It looks like I took about a minute and a half for each game.
No, but that's what you have to do.
cheating
You
on
have to
your
get the
own
opening hand that's perfect, and then keep restarting until you get it.
Chocobo Moogle card, always.
Oh my god. Good one.
Joe, I didn't get that for ages because I missed the side quest because I said I thought I'd finished everything and I obviously just missed that one completely. So I didn't get that until like chapter 7 or 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I played it for review, like the one side quest I was like, I have to do all of this is Queen's Blood.
Yeah.
Because we were given like 2 weeks to play it. And I'm like, this is not enough time to see everything. So the first couple of areas I did everything, and then going in as I got further along, I was like, right, I've just got to mainline the story. But every time I got to a new area, it was, where can I play Queen's Blood immediately? I have to do that, and I have to see that quest through. It's like the one thing that I would recommend.
I'd say
it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite things about the game.
Speaking of card games, you said you've weaned off them for 10 years, Joesephyr. Did I?
Yeah.
Am I completely confusing you with someone else? But
yes,
with a 2D face, as you were talking earlier.
No, I don't know what this lighting is, but I look flat. It's really weird.
At least you're not glowing like a warm egg like I am right now. I don't know.
I look like this lighting is it's the best matte foundation I've ever seen in my life. But no, I know what you're getting at. And
are you playing Balatro?
I am, yeah.
You are? Okay, good.
With Balatro. So when I say I've weaned myself off of card games for the last 10 years, might be lying slightly.
Balatro is different though, because you're not there's no microtransactions.
I haven't done in a long time.
Yeah.
Balatro, I'm obsessed with it. It's fantastic.
Sorry.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's for those of you who don't know what Balatro is, my husband actually brought me onto this, so we can blame him. But it's a roguelike poker game where you can edit your deck to have more of a certain suit or a certain like card rank, and you augment it with jokers that have varying effects, or tarot cards, or there's all sorts of different things like planets. It looks like a very, very simple game, but the beauty is in its simplicity. It's poker. You're still trying to get hands of poker, but you have to augment them in such a way that you are getting ridiculous numbers of poker chips off of one hand, and it flows perfectly. It's the perfect game music-wise to fall asleep to. So yeah. I could be playing it in bed on my Steam Deck, and then my other half, he's out cold. But it's also extremely
I know that
intense.
feeling. I'm often playing games on my Steam Deck.
Well, you haven't played that in bed, so maybe you should.
No, I haven't actually. I should do.
Very good. It's very, very good.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. I didn't realize, because you can kind of change things around, and you can like buy extra suits for your deck and stuff. Are they permanent if you buy those?
No, they're only for that run.
It's
everything is within the same run. You get unlockables as you play through it. So new vouchers that you buy in the shop that are permanent upgrades for that run rather than for the next round, or you can get booster packs of playing cards. And it's one of those games that it's better not to know anything about it and just play it, because the more I explain it, the more weird I'm making it sound. And it is weird, but it works, and it has absolutely no right to work as well as it does.
It's honestly like, I don't understand. I've never played poker in my life. Like, I've never ever played it. I have no idea what like 4 of a kind and 6 of a hand, and I don't know all these phrases. I have no idea what they were. Then I started playing Balatro, and I'm learning, and I'm sure there are a million other rules that I don't get, because so what you get a hand of 5, I think it's 5 or 6, but then it can change depending on what you've rolled. But you get like a hand, and then you've got to, from those cards that you've got to make a, is it a 4 of a kind? So it's like 4 of the same type, but different suits, or is it like in a row
or a flush,
Flush.
like where it's 5 of the
Flush.
same
Yeah, I
team.
don't know what they're called.
And then a
I
royal
know,
flush is
I've
like the
watched
top
Casino
card.
Royale. I know how to play poker.
Yeah, that's about my limit as well.
I've got Lizzie in the chat says Ben sounds like I sound like when I try to play poker. Honestly, I know blackjack, but for like the first 12 years of my life, I was calling it pontoon because that's what my grandparents
Oh God,
brought me.
that's what my grandparents used to call it.
Maybe it's a grandparents thing. But I only ever knew how to play, pontoon. And...
I used to play gin rummy with my granddad, but he taught me completely different rules, so I cannot play it with anyone else because nobody else does the same rules that I play.
You have your own unique game there.
I used to play pontoon with my grandparents. They used to come around and they used to go to Doncaster Market and get like a big bag of dolly mixture, and we would use it like to get to bet and to gamble. And if they won, they went home with theirs. Like they didn't give me and my brother
As
the kids
they should.
playing.
You should have played better, Ben.
I lost. I was like, great, I've got 2
My
sweets.
grandma was clearly a gambler because we were doing it with 10p pieces.
Oh, we had dolly mixture, but yeah, they went home with it. But this is genuinely I'm really enjoying it. It kind of makes me want to play poker now and just see what an actual game is like.
Well, you're not getting you into that.
No.
Next podcast, we'll just play poker.
Yeah. We do a poker podcast and sit there in our smoking jackets and cigars.
That would be great.
But no, it is like I said, it's a roguelike, so it has that kind of one more go run, that one more go urge. The music's fantastic, and every run is completely different. And sometimes, like I think it was the fourth run I played, I got to almost the final level. There are like 3 rounds per level, and then there are 8 levels. And I got to like the 7th, or even I think I got to the boss on the 7th. And so I was
already too many numbers.
Yeah, it's like level 21 out of 24 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, if you're scared of numbers, maybe don't play Balatro.
Yeah.
But I also
love a roguelike, but don't put maths in it.
I was going to say, if it's maths, then no.
Well, not really.
No, there's not much maths in it at all. But like each level, so you've got to kind of get, I think they're called, what are they called? Antes?
Ante. You have your little blind, your big blind, then the boss.
Exactly.
So like antes, and then each ante you get through, the score requirement gets higher.
No, I'll describe it there are 8 levels. There are 8 levels, and in each level there are 3 missions. And the first mission is quite easy. The second mission is you need a high number to win, and then the third one's a boss that has a modifier, like you can't use the diamonds, or like all the cards are turned the other way around, which is the worst one ever. So some of them are just only use one hand, so you can't keep calculating. Some of them are
really hard. Evil. Once you finish it at least once, each time you finish it, there's more modifiers that get added to it, so it gets harder and harder and harder. So, but I love all that. Like, I want my games difficult. I'm a gaming masochist. I'm like, give me the difficult, give me the Dark Souls, give me the Ninja Gaidens, give me the Binding of Isaac. I want it as difficult as it gets. So
no, give me easy mode. Let me cheat. Give me a cheat cartridge. Also, speaking of Balatro, they've just added it, and relating to Gosh charity, they've added it to crowd control. Yeah,
no,
so you can now, people can influence your runs.
Yeah, I love that. Listen, anything where chat can influence your gameplay is always a lot of fun.
They've also said a mobile version is coming as well, which I think is going to be quite dangerous for having that on your phone.
I'm 100% going to get that.
Oh, me too. If that's coming out mobile, that's it. My train journeys are over.
Marvel Snap that's not even going to get the end of the season treatment from me anymore. Apparently we're doing maths slander on not really Pi Day in America, because it's 3.14, but also on Chaddy's birthday, and he's a maths teacher in the chat as well. So we are really insulting.
Sorry, Chaddy.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm doing my best.
Are either of you big roguelike fans in general?
I am, yeah. Binding of Isaac is one of my favorite games ever made. Enter the Gungeon's up there. Other roguelikes. What can I think of?
Dead Cells?
Oh yeah, I love Dead Cells. Dead Cells got Castlevania in it. Yeah, I'll platinum that. That took a while. What other roguelikes are there? There's loads.
Hades, no?
Oh god, yeah. How can I forget Hades? One of the best ones. It's one of those.
I like it, but I like it, but I find them very difficult, and I kind of lose I've made it almost to the end in Hades once, and then I was just like, I'm not doing this again. I loved Hades a lot. I really like it. I just wish I was better at it. Like, it's just like this whole gamble of like, what are you gonna get? Like, it's fun, but it's also like, I don't know. It's not for me. Like, I do like playing them, but it's not like something where I'm like, I'm gonna see this to the end because I just don't have
think
the
it's such
stamina
a
for
trade-off
that.
between like you get really far and you're like, this is really good gameplay, but then when you lose and go all the way back to the beginning, you lose so much in the process. Like, I love Returnal. I think that is one of the best
that's a
games on
great
PS5.
one.
I absolutely love it.
Returnal's great.
Still haven't finished it.
Me neither.
And I really need to. But that, because the runs in that can be like hours long, and then you just lose all your progress. And you're
Screw
like,
that.
ugh.
I
And it
think there's
feels
a
so
balance, isn't
frustrating.
there?
Yeah.
There's a balance that needs to be there where if you have to have that rewarding, you have to have those stages that make you feel rewarded, so that when you do inevitably lose, because you're going to with these games, you have to want that one more go. And some games get it right and others don't. But I think all of the examples that we've given between us, I think they're all really good examples of ones that do make you want to do it. Returnal, because the runs are quite so long, I felt a little bit less of that, but it's still a really good game.
Oh, I
I
love
think
Returnal. Returnal is so good, but I feel like it almost because you need to do the runs, because you need to want to go into every room because you want to upgrade your items. That's because otherwise you could just go straight to the boss more or less, because there's like shortcuts and whatnot. But like, you need better equipment, and that's why I'm like, oh, now I've lost health, and I didn't really need to, but I wanted to see if there's a better weapon here that I like. So that's where I'm like, oh, that's kind of like stops me from playing it as much as I like. But I really enjoyed Returnal. It was really fun.
The atmosphere of it is just incredible.
I think I'm quite similar to Marignetic, like Marie. I'm similar to you with them. I run out of steam a bit. Like with Hades as well, I got to, there's two people. Is it the bull and the...
Yeah.
And,
I don't know what it's called.
The bullet
in the China shop. I was going to...
Not this. Not this.
What's it called? The bullet. Move on quickly. Don't call that.
The Minotaur.
Oh my God.
The Minotaur.
There you go.
Well, I'm cancelled, then. Oh, who needs the glow?
He's in a China shop,
I apologise to anybody that's offended by that. Bull and the Minotaur. Is it the Minotaur? Or is the Minotaur the bull?
The Minotaur is the bull.
Minotaur is the bull.
Is the bull.
Is it Achilles?
No, it's
There's someone with him. I know. There's
I got to those.
Theseus.
I got to those two, and it was, and I lost to it, but I was like, it was really like early on in my time playing it, and I was like, oh, got to do it all again, and just didn't really have the.
That is the hardest boss, to be fair.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever the only roguelike that I've beaten, and cover your ears, Maria, because I didn't like it at all. In fact, it really wound me up. Was God of War's Valhalla DLC.
Valhalla is amazing.
I really liked it as well.
But you know what I liked about that one? Because I beat it too, but I also did it on like I think the recommended difficulty, which is like 1 over story, and I have no shame. I mean, I've played that game on hard, like the hardest difficulty, but like roguelite, knowing this is not really my thing, I was like, nope, I'm just doing it on as easy as possible. And it felt so much more achievable to actually get through it. So I'm like, I did really enjoy that.
I know I'm alone in this. And I played it on easy mode as well, and I just don't enjoy the combat in God of War.
I mean, that's fair. If you don't enjoy the combat, then you're not going to enjoy that.
I think I'm one of the hot take maybe, but I really miss the old God of Wars a lot. Like, I think that there's a style of action RPG or adventure game that we just don't get anymore, because people seem to think that linearity is immediately bad. So Zelda, God of War, Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry, you don't really see games like that very often where it's linear but it's challenging, and I kind of miss that. But I do still love God of War 2018 and Ragnarok as well, and Valhalla, it helped that the story and it was quite as good as it was, but you get so much out of it if you've played the old ones as well.
That's, I think, was also Ben's problem, is that Ben hasn't played the originals.
No.
Whereas I played them, was like, oh, this is linking back to that.
They were far too mask for me as a kid. Like, if I
please.
God of War, big nah, I was playing.
If it wasn't a problem for me, I don't think it should be a problem for you.
I was gonna say, you didn't want to like mash buttons to like have sex with ladies off screen and improve your health.
Really did not. I was happy playing Croc and Crash 2 and Final Fantasy 10.
You were far too comfortable in your sexuality.
No, just like I like gay games. I don't want these, hyper butch games.
What gay games did I play?
I'm trying to think there weren't that many.
I'm like, great. I was in denial as a kid.
I was saying I must have been. I've no idea.
I've played The Witcher. Someone says like, so Witcher 3 playthrough. With Witcher 3, I played it, and I was like, I'm going to play Geralt as like gay, and it's impossible to. So at the end, I just ended up being on my own. At the end, it was like he just went and lived on his own, because I didn't romance any of the
really
women in it. Well, those were the days, Ed. Those were the days.
I think if the option's available, I'll usually like. Would you always take the gay option if it's available? Because I do 90% of the time, but not always.
I do if there's somebody hot. If all of the choices are terrible, I'll go and be.
Like I remember
they're ugly. The straights can have them.
Yeah, like Fire Emblem Three Houses. It was like, oh, you can be gay, but then you have to like wed this annoying little twink.
Oh, Lynn
and I was like,
sure.
And I went with that, and then was like, oh, I'm disappointed by this choice.
Wedding an annoying twink is.
Don't continue that. I know where you're going.
Nothing. I wouldn't say.
I shouldn't married.
Yeah, we are not engaged very much.
But anyway, speaking of annoying twinks, so that was Balatro. Ed, what have you been playing other than? In fact, you've been playing a game with twinks, haven't you? Actually, say twinks, school children.
Wow.
Go on then.
It's not actually. It is
Not
very
while I'm
sexualized. Persona 3 Reload.
Oh.
I've been playing. Why would you think I was going to say?
Yeah, no.
God. Which is very dated in its representation.
Is it even the updated version?
Yeah. Well, okay. So there is specifics. I haven't got that far, but there is a bit where they all go on summer break, and I think there's like a really transphobic moment that I believe they've changed in this version of it. So it is slightly rewritten. But on the whole, it's not great. Like one of the first people you meet is this kid who's like, I want a girlfriend. I love my teacher. And then in order to have a better relationship with him, you have to egg him on. And I'm now on the verge of him proposing to his teacher because they're having homeschooling and he clearly doesn't realize that she's not into him. It's weird. It's very weird.
Well, the next season of Heartstopper has got Jonathan Bailey as a teacher, hasn't he? That they're all
Well, I
after.
would absolutely be interested in that.
Okay.
The hypocrite is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
If it's gay, it's fine. No,
Wow,
it's not.
This is the last time we ever do a live show again. Can't edit things out.
But no, so I finished Rebirth and was like, I need to play something that's not Final Fantasy. But unfortunately, every game this year that is new and decent is a big RPG. So I started another one, which is Persona 3 Reload. So I played 5, loved it. I haven't played Royal. I've only played the original version of it. I played 4 a year ago, wrote a story on the bad representation, got trolled to shit, was like, right, I'm never playing another Persona game again. But now 3's come out, and I'm like, actually, it's quite good. But it definitely feels like a step backwards. And I don't know the series massively well, but it's interesting. I feel like I've gone backwards through it because I started with 5, then went 4, then went 3. And I didn't realize how formulaic this series is because they all follow this calendar system. They all have the same character tropes, the same gameplay all the way through. So it's almost like Pokemon. Like you buy a Pokemon game, you know what you're going to get. Like you're going to get your 3 starters and you're going to have to fight gym battles and whatever. Like Persona's the same thing. Like it has its own formula. So it's sort of comforting to go back to that, but also 3 feels quite slim and shallow in comparison to 5, I think. And if anything, it just makes me more interested into like what's going to happen with Persona 6. And also Metaphor Refantasio, which comes out this year, which is basically Persona but fantasy. Yeah, exactly. So I'm really interested to see what more they do. So 3 is fine. It's not as good as 5, but I am kind of addicted to it.
Yeah, you played it until like 1 a.m. last night.
Yeah. I just want to get through it though, also because I want to play Dragon's Dogma 2. And I also need to play Endwalker, and I also need to play Yakuza, and I want to play Final Fantasy Tactics on your Vita, and I want to play 5, and I want to play whatever else, and they're all RPGs, and there is no time.
Feel your pain with that. I've just gotten through Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, then Rebirth. I need to go back to P3 Reload. Then we've got Dragon's Dogma. Isn't Rise of the Ronin out next week as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rise of Ronin.
Princess Peach Showtime as well. That's not an RPG.
Sorry, we were too busy singing Boyzone there.
Oh, not long.
But yeah, the RPG fatigue is getting real. So I relate to, I finished Rebirth and need to not RPG, and yet here we are.
Maria, are you a Persona fan? Have you played any? No,
I have not played any of the Persona games, but I do want to. I'm very interested. Yeah, I think I'd probably really like it, but yeah, just because everything came out like just before Rebirth, and that was like the one that I was really excited for. So I'm kind of like didn't want to start anything huge before that I knew I wasn't going to finish prior to Rebirth. So it will happen eventually.
Yeah. 5 is great, and especially if you've got like a Portal or a Steam Deck, it's just kind of, or it's on Switch actually. So yeah, just playing it on a like handheld, and I feel like every dungeon is its own little story arc. So you can just put it, like I put it down after the first dungeon in my current playthrough, so I can just go and pick it up later another time and binge it for a bit and then put it down. It's quite a good game for that, I think.
Okay, that's good.
If I may, actually, because I actually really struggle with Persona. I find it really hard to get into any of them, but there's a reason for that. So you mentioned Fire Emblem earlier, and you liked Three Houses. Did you enjoy Three Houses more than, say, Engage or any of the
I
other
did.
I didn't, and it's the same reason I don't like Persona. The slice of life content, it bores me to tears. I can't stand it.
That's my favorite bit, because you can't die.
I know I'm the weird one. I know I'm the weird one. But I am somebody that likes to play RPGs because I like the challenging bosses and the combat and stuff like that. Yeah. Where the story, I can't say I don't care about the story. Ed will tell you firsthand. I definitely care about the stories from conversations we had. But I really don't care what my party member had for breakfast yesterday. So, like, can we move past that? I don't have the patience for it. I just want to get stuck into the meat of the game.
I'm genuinely the absolute opposite of you. Like, one of my favorite things as a kid was I just loved games with massive cutscenes, because when there's a cutscene, there's no challenging part. Like, there's no bit where I'm going to get stuck, because the second I get stuck, when I get stuck with something, I just move on. I'm like, nah.
So we need to get together and play a game. You play it for the cutscenes and all the story based bit. So we'll play a Persona together. You do all of that stuff, and then when it gets to the hard stuff,
when it's the dungeons and the tough dungeons, I'll give the controller to you, and you can go and play that. Yeah.
And then when I get bored because the cutscenes are too long, I'm like, here, Ben.
Exactly. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I like both.
But yeah,
I like both as well.
Yeah.
I like staying in a section where I know now I'm safe, nothing can hurt me. I'm just gonna walk around and nothing will happen. This is really nice. But I do like a challenge as well. But I like both. I
suppose it's why roguelikes do appeal to me, because I'm an impatient bugger, to be honest. How I've played so many RPGs, I don't know.
I love like a big open world RPG. You know, something like The Witcher 3, where you can go into the wilderness and you're fighting random animals and monsters, and then you go back to like the home city, walking around, and just everything it feels like home, and you feel safe, and you can just wander around and just go into the pub if you want, and just stand there and enjoy the atmosphere. I couldn't.
I'd be like, "Where's the quest marker? I'm off."
Have you played a game called Assassin's Creed? You would love a game. There's a game called Assassin's Creed out there.
Don't get me started on stealth.
Oh yeah.
Impatience. Stealth? Really?
It's just says a really interesting thing. My only problem with Persona, let's bring it up on the chat. My only problem with Persona is the amount of things you can miss if you don't follow a certain schedule, or you like miss a single date.
Yes, that.
Yeah, that's true. Like, so for anyone who hasn't played it, I guess just to briefly explain that, essentially you're playing as a load of school kids, and the story unfolds over the course of a calendar year. So the game is very structured, because you have every single day, and it will go through every single day in that year. And you have a morning, an afternoon, and an evening, and you can decide how to spend your time So that might be doing dungeons, or it might be spending time with your friends to increase your social links, or it might be leveling up whatever else, or eating a burger to increase your courage, or whatever it might be. And so you can choose how to spend your time, but I guess the real challenge is to get like all of your social links as high as possible. So you have to evenly split your time and work out how you're going to balance that. And that can result in a lot of FOMO, I guess.
That's what happens in 3 houses as well. Like you can,
you
have to choose what you have to do because you have a certain amount of things.
It's I'm not a big fan of missables. Like I like to know I can go back, because as I say, I do care about stories in these games, but I like to take them at my own pace. So if I can go back and go, oh, okay, now I know, now I'm ready for this, then I can go back and do it. But in Persona and 3 houses, that once it's gone, it's gone.
I mean, we can't not talk about RPGs and not mention BG3, but a Baldur's Gate 3. Does that have a lot of missables? I guess like each playthrough is completely different, kind of.
Yeah.
I never know. I'm one of those people as well that like wants to know how to get the best ending, like what I should do. When there are 2 options, I will go on the internet and find out what the best option is for me to pick, rather than just go with my gut.
My partner does this, and I want to know if you do it as well. Do you let the rolls be what they are, or will you quick save before each roll and then quick load before them, just so you make sure you get the rolls correct?
Oh no, I stream it, so I have to go with whatever. I'm doing like a be a dick playthrough, so I'm just picking the most dickish answers.
Okay.
Except when it's animals. Animals, I'm always very nice to. But when it's if I'm speaking, or like pets. But if it's at the moment I'm like picking the most dickish answers, and I'm going with whatever. And whether I die or not, it's fine.
I love that.
Shit happens. But if I do die and then I have to go back quite far, then when I'm back at that point, I will save just in case. But if I get a terrible roll, that's life. But I'm also a bard, so usually it's like you need to get 20, and then I roll like a 43 or something. So
wow.
Yeah, perception checks are very good, or charisma checks.
BG3 is also on my list of. I need to go back to that at some point.
I need to go back. I haven't finished it yet.
I haven't finished. I'm glad I'm not the only one, because it's one of those games where everyone's like, "Oh my god, you haven't played it?" I'm like, "No."
It's fantastic though.
How far through are you, Maria?
Not far, because I've really enjoyed that kind of game. I've not really played before, so like all of the different things that you have as options, like the combat was like, I was like, oh my gosh, I turned it down to like the easiest difficulty. I just really enjoyed the interactions, and I loved like every character and like all of that. I loved.
It's still a challenge as well.
Combat, I was like, no, I'm gonna do that easy, and it's still not that easy. But actually, I don't even remember where I am now. I haven't played it in a while, which is really bad, because I do really want to play more of it. I really loved it.
I loved what I played. It's just it came out last year with 1,000,001 other games, and now this year is suddenly all these new games. I'm like, how am I meant to catch up on this?
Right?
It's physically impossible to play 10 80-hour games. It's not possible.
You played one in 3 days.
I was going to say,
by not sleeping, because it was like,
But again, Joesephyr, just make it a thing.
It was 4. But I think my time clocked in at 65 hours, and I didn't do all of the side content, but I did a fair whack of it. I did all of Queen's Blood. I did quite a few of the side games. But yeah, I definitely sacrificed some literally doing anything else for 4 days. And after that, I was very much in the same boat as Ed, where I'm like, okay, I need to not Final Fantasy for a while.
Yeah, I'm because I do long play streams on Sundays, which I'm also going to extend to Tuesdays as well. And like I stick with a long game, but then after a certain amount of time, I move to another one, and then like take it in turns. So I'm currently doing Zelda and Baldur's Gate 3, and I've just done all of the dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom, and now I'm going to go back to Baldur's Gate 3 because I finished Act 1. So like between each act, I'm switching out with a different game just to stop myself getting burnt out. But yeah, because I get really burnt out. Are you the same? Do you get burnt out with games, Maria? Although I think you're all in on Rebirth now.
Yeah, I don't actually think I do. It depends on how much I love the game. So like with Zelda, I love that game so much. I played and I still have lots of things to do actually, but then so many other games have come out. I'm like, I don't know when to play it all. But if I really love the game, I could spend so much time in it. So I don't feel like that. But if it's not quite something that I'm super into, then yeah, I feel like at some point it feels almost like a chore, I guess, in a way. Especially when you're streaming it as well. It can be like, oh, sometimes. So it's nice switching up, I think. Just to have
when a game
something.
becomes a chore for you, do you put it down or do you keep playing until like 1 a.m. in the morning?
Don't look at me when you say that. Look, I start something, I have to finish.
Of times I've gone into like at 1 a.m. and be like, "Are you gonna come to bed?" He's like, "No, I'm playing this. Oh, it's terrible. Why are you playing it?"
I think Ed and I might be the same player.
Yeah,
I would put it down.
yeah, I would as well.
I'll play it to bitch about it.
I've started, so I'll finish.
Oh, we are the opposite people
Yeah.
in terms of games. It's good. You get a variety of feelings.
Maria, are you then only playing Rebirth on stream?
No, I'm doing on Sundays. I'm currently playing Tomb Raider because Tomb Raider was the first games that I played, like that got me into gaming when I was young, and it's just so much. Honestly, they are such good games. I love them so much. I'm having the best time, and I could stream for hours and hours, but then I'm like, oh, it's probably time for some dinner. So I'm switching up with that, like, cause have a bit of variety still for.
They nailed that remaster as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you playing with like the new modern controls, or are you sticking with tank controls?
Oh, no, tank controls all the way.
That's what I did, and it was a mess when I was playing it because I don't know if you saw me do the because I just went straight into Tomb Raider 2.
Yeah.
And did the assault course, and I did manage to finish it, but it was.
Oh my god, that first jump took you so long.
It was frustrating.
To be fair, I felt the same when I first streamed. Like I first played the second one, and I was like, "What the heck am I doing?" But tank controls all the way, just because I remember exactly. Like, I need to go all the way back here to do this jump. Like, I know exactly how to set up the jump. So I'm like, the old controls are fine for me. The new ones, the camera, I'm like, what is going on?
And I love the upgraded graphics that are still kind of very much the original as well. They kind of completely respect the original, and it's kind of when you play it, it's how you feel they were when you were a kid, but they weren't. Also,
that's what I was saying. I remember them being like they are now, and then I switched to how they actually were, and I'm like, nah, that's not true. They definitely look like how I'm seeing them right now.
Number of remastered games that are like that. You're like, I'm sure this looked better when I was younger, and then you go back and look at it, and you're like, oh no, I was wrong.
Sims is one of them, actually. I remember The Sims not looking the way The Sims looked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was looking at somebody playing Final Fantasy X remaster, and I was like, oh, is this the remaster? Wow, it looks just like the original. And then I look at the original and go, ooh, no. Oh no. Very different.
And your first Final Fantasy?
No, the very first one I played was 8. And then I got I'll say quite far. I got about 10, 15 hours in, and then my memory card broke. And the save got corrupted, and I was like, nah, just can't be bothered. Can't be bothered starting.
Because they say the first Final Fantasy you played is your favorite.
7.
That's not true for me. But
no, 10 was my favorite, though. It was the first one I finished. Yeah, 10 was the first one I finished, and I loved it. But I've not played that much of 9.
Okay.
Maybe like 12 hours. I don't finish games.
We know.
I do. I actually put a lot of effort into finishing my games. If I start one, I'll tend to finish it.
What was your first Final Fantasy, Maria?
7 Remake, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Have you gone back and played the original since?
Yeah, I have played the original.
Okay.
But yeah, 7 Remake was my first one. And after many, many, many pleas from AJ, because it's his favorite game, and when the remake came out, he's like, I've asked you to play the original, please play the remake. And I'm like, fine, I'll play it. And then I did one stream, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to continue it, but I'm going to try and see if I like it. And then I was like, okay, I love this. I was eating my words at the end, and now I'm like, I love how much I love it. So yeah.
It was brilliant.
Well, my favorite or my first? 7.
And your favorite 7, isn't it?
Yeah, 7 and 8 sort of cross over a bit for me, because I think I remember seeing 8 in like Electronics Boutique.
Yes. When they played it on the TV screens.
Yeah, when they'd always have it on the TV screen. I remember like the opening cinematic of like Squall and Renoa in the field of flowers and everything, and just being like, holy shit, what is that? Like I'd been playing like Mario Land 2 on my Game Boy, and then was like, what is this cinematic masterpiece before me?
Like when we were kids, it's like games can't physically look better than this.
Yeah, exactly. I can't
What do you
imagine
mean?
anything better than that.
That was me with GTA 3.
And now you look at it.
So great.
But the first one I think I might have played a bit of 8, but the first one I actually played properly myself was then sitting down and playing 7.
Okay.
Which was, I keep telling this story recently because everyone's talking about 7 all the time. And literally, I have it on the shelf behind me here, is my copy of 7 on PC, which is not mine. It was a guy called Andy, who I went to school with. And I didn't have a PlayStation. So he was like, oh, I've got this copy of the game on PC. Do you want to borrow it? There you go.
EDOS Interactive.
Yeah, no, I still have my copy, my original copy of 8 as well.
Yeah, there you go. So this is PC, and he lent it to me. And then a couple of months later, he left the school, and I never got a chance to
What's
give it
his
back to him.
surname?
I've got no idea. I remember his name was Andy. I keep telling this story publicly, and I'm like, he's going to find me at some point.
You're like, give me that back.
Yeah. But no, it's mine now. I've had it for longer.
You know, sell it.
I think I borrowed 7 off of a kid from school as well. But I remember, like, I can't. How old were we when that came? What year did that come out? 99?
Oh, I wasn't even born.
What, 7 on PC?
No, it's just the original 7. Was it
97,
99?
97, no?
97 was 7.
97.
Yeah.
So I would have been 11 years old. And I remember a friend lent it to me on PlayStation. I played it for a bit, and I'm like, this is crap. And like, I didn't understand it. Like, I didn't get it at all. And then 8 came out, and like you said, Electronics Boutique come up on the TV screens. I'm sitting there like, what is this? Loved it. Then went back and played 7 and really liked it. Then 9 was like the first one I was looking forward to because I knew what it was now. And it's still my favorite to this day. And now my whole life revolves around Final Fantasy. So
Perfect.
That's fair.
Maria, what are you playing in your like free time? Do you play anything like off stream that you just kind of unwind with?
I've been playing a lot of Helldivers too.
I've got it and I need to play it.
So it is so much fun.
Tell us all about it.
You were who got me to buy it, and I still haven't played it yet.
Helldivers is so much fun, honestly, especially when you're playing with friends, because it's just comical, but I don't know, I really like it. And I like that it's not PvP, because PvP FPS is not for me at all because I'm not that great. But together, like against the enemy, it's just so much fun. So much fun with the friendly fire on. I don't know. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do, and I'm obsessed. I really like it.
So what do you do in this? Do you go in and then you have to fight the local enemies and then steal stuff and go back?
It's Starship Troopers, the game.
I never seen that.
That's what it is.
Filmed?
What?
TV
Oh,
show
you got to
from
change that.
Drunk movie ever.
You got to watch it. It's literally that. That's literally what it is.
Ben, you're going to hate it, and it's going to be like the best experience for me.
I don't watch films.
We need to change this. Anyway, sorry, Maria, you can.
Oh, you basically you liberate the planet of bugs and robots and spread democracy. That's really it.
I've literally got it downloaded, and I really need to go and play it.
I feel like I need to play it as well. I've written enough news stories about it, and I'm like, I'm playing it.
Especially if it's not co-op. I love a co-op game that's like, because it's the third person, isn't it? Third person shooter. So I mean, one of my favorite games is not the most popular with others, is The Division. And I just used to love the missions that would like auto match make with 3 others, and you just go through it. And like even in Destiny, like Destiny 2, which I'm playing at the moment as well, there's quite a lot of missions that will just auto match make with you with people, and it's just full co-op through to the end. And I don't know, I really enjoy a co-op game.
Yeah.
How have you found the community though? Because from what I've heard online and from other people I know that have played it, they've been playing with like randoms online and had quite a lot of abuse and it not being a great community. But I guess if you're only playing with friends, you don't.
Yeah, I've not played with randoms. I don't know. I feel like with the games like this, I always prefer to just play with friends than with random people.
Is random matchmaking a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's really difficult to play it on your own.
Any game.
I just feel like all of these kind of games will get some people out who are just going to be not the nicest, bit toxic if you don't know exactly what you're doing and like get the best loadouts and whatnot. So I'm just happy to play with friends who, where it's just fun.
Yeah, my colleague Victoria was playing it to test it out, and some guy came in and was like, "You don't know what you're doing," so she just shot him in the head.
Love that.
The correct answer.
That's what the friendly fire is for, you know.
The first time I ever got a gaming PC, I downloaded Rainbow Six Siege, played it, and someone told me that I was a noob, and I uninstalled it. I was like, fine, fuck this game. Terrible community.
I'm really sensitive to stuff like that, and I play a lot of fighting games, and yeah. So random scare me.
Oh, yeah. I love Rainbow Six. Now I'm decent at it ish, like decent enough to hold my own, but I'd still rather just play with friends. Because there's no, you go to games to kind of just chill and enjoy yourself. You don't need someone shouting at you, telling how shit you are. It's like
literally
get that every day at home.
I would never.
Coming out now.
Yeah.
You will load the dishwasher badly.
I don't. Anyway, should we go and talk about the BAFTAs?
Yes. So each week on the podcast, we usually talk about the news and talk about what the headlines are. But we thought this time, let's just sort of talk about the BAFTA nominations, which I'm now going to get up on my phone. Because these were announced last Thursday, I believe.
Maybe.
Yes, it was last Thursday. And Baldur's Gate 3 has the most nominations. I don't think that's necessarily a surprise to anyone.
That's not much of a shocker.
It is great.
So I won't go through all the categories because, we don't have time. But we can talk about some of the more interesting ones. So we'll start off with artistic achievement. The nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cocoon, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 16, and Hi-Fi Rush, which is a pretty good list of games, I'd say.
My guess is like between Hi-Fi Rush and Cocoon.
Cocoon for me. Cocoon is stunning.
I love Cocoon. It's beautiful.
I loved it by the end. I got frustrated playing it. There were times where I was like, I have no idea what to do. And I was saying earlier,
It's got really good puzzles, actually.
Yeah. There was
clever.
I was saying earlier, like I don't like a challenge, but also if I'm gonna play a game and I know I'm gonna finish it, there's no way I'm looking at a guide. I was like, I'm not looking up how to do this. But it was one way you had to kind of drop a ball as you were flying through the air, and I didn't realize you could let go while you're flying through the air. So I spent like literally 30 minutes going, I've just no idea what to do.
I love that game.
It's really good.
So good.
I think it's interesting with like something like art, because you've either got something like, for me, on the one hand, Hi-Fi Rush, that's like really cartoony and really well animated and looks incredible.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you've got something like probably Alan Wake 2 that is sort of pushing realism and surrealism, I guess. So for me, I think it's probably between those two, and I don't know which way they'll swing.
16 was quite a bit of a surprise, I'd say.
I'm glad it's in there.
Yeah.
Don't sound too convinced, Joesephyr.
Don't come for me like that. I think that Final Fantasy 16 is a stunning game. It is. There's no two ways about that. But I don't feel it's pushing envelopes in the same way games like Cocoon and Hi-Fi Rush do. Like Hi-Fi Rush looks like a Saturday morning cartoon, and it looks perfect for what it's doing. I'm more keen on FF16 being in than Diablo 4. Like,
Diablo 4 is too dark. You can't see any art.
I used to be a massive Diablo fan until, but 4, I don't know, just something just it seems fairly simple to me. Like it's not breaking any boundaries outside of what Diablo had already done.
That was very much a 1 a.m. Ed, why are you still playing this? I don't know. This game is shit. But it's Diablo 4, and I'm so compelled to.
The thing is, I was with you on that one because I paid like £90 for the premium edition. So I was like, I spent that much money,
and I got your money's worth.
And I'm like, I'm a northerner. If I'm spending £90, I will finish a game.
I've not played Alan Wake 2 yet, and I really want to because I played the first one. It's just again October last year was ridiculous. Whereas you guys hadn't played Baldur's Gate, I hadn't played Alan Wake, so I need to go back and play that because I've heard extraordinary things about it.
Interesting. It's not that long. I wasn't the biggest fan.
Okay.
And
that means I probably won't be then.
Well, no, I mean I'm not going to spoil anything. I think it's I think it has moments that are incredible, but I also think that it's heads up its own ass.
I thought you'd love it.
Well, I like an artsy pretentious game sometimes,
I'll
unless
come
it's
back
a
to
little
you when
bit
I've
too over
played
the
it.
line.
Yeah, you liked what's the Zelda wannabe one that the hipsters liked?
Tunic.
Yeah, that one.
I haven't played that either, and I really want to.
I like Tunic.
I think I'd love that.
Not a fan of pretentious games, except for Death Stranding, which is like the ultimate
The
one.
most pretentious thing in the
gonna
world.
say.
Yeah, just a light one like that. Maria, did you play? What was I going to say? Did you play Alan Wake?
I did play Alan Wake, yes.
Would-
Alan Wake, I like it, but I'm also not like as in love with it as everyone else. One thing that I just really, the combat for me is so clunky. I don't know why. I just don't like it that much. Like the combat I don't like as much, which is why I'm like extra tense when I go through things where I'm like, oh my God,
Gotta
this is
fight
too
things.
much. This is when I like being somewhere where I know I'm not going to get hurt.
Because that's the problem with the first one for me. I fell off the first one after, is it 10 chapters? And I think I was in the 7th, and I was like, no, the controls were just too fiddly. It's just the remastered one as well.
I think it's easier on keyboard and mouse probably, and I played it on PlayStation, and like I can't not aim as is, so aiming with a controller is even worse. And and with those, like for me, the controls are just like, it felt really difficult.
I will say I genuinely found Alan Wake 2 quite scary at times.
Oh yeah,
mainly because of the jump scares. All I'm going to say is, Maria, the old lady.
Oh my God, yes. No, the amount of times I got jump scared, I don't.
Yeah.
So now I have to keep an eye out for an old lady. Got it.
I was shouting at the screen because I was getting annoyed at myself.
I had to really hold in swearing. Like I was so
I was in here working away or something, and I could hear it just oh, fuck you from Ed.
Oh my God, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
I
Alan
made a
Wake
compilation
2...
of all those scares on TikTok or something. It was just.
Oh, I
anyway.
don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. I do think it should win audio achievement stuff because I think the audio design is amazing. But there is then separately music, which I do think 16 should have been nominated for.
I'm very upset 16 wasn't nominated.
Yeah,
I think it's an interesting one that it wasn't. That one, that one I'll give it.
So music, we've got Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Baldur's Gate 3, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which was also nominated for a Grammy.
Jedi Survivor seems to like people. I love it. I enjoyed it. I finished it, but I feel like the awards go absolutely. They're in love with these games.
What's in the same ones?
Well, yeah, because wasn't Fallen Order also like nominated for loads of awards?
Oh, you mean the Star Wars ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, I'll be honest.
Jedi Survivor didn't work properly. It was buggy as hell for a start.
It worked fine for me, but I have not had any issues bugs wise. But I played it on PlayStation, so I don't know if that.
Yeah, I played it on PlayStation as well. It crashed numerous times for me. I finished it, but I think Fallen Order's way better.
I like both of them. I finished both of them.
I like them.
Music's good, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not too memorable. I played it, enjoyed it, moved on.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which of these that I think is going to win.
I want to say Baldur's Gate.
Mainly for down.
Baldur's Gate is great. But you got Alan Wake with that. What is it? Herald of Darkness.
Oh, of course.
I mean, that was pretty epic. I do really like the music in Alan Wake too. I thought that was fantastic.
Although, what didn't you dislike Sam Lake though, don't you?
What?
Ed.
Do I?
Oh.
Well, not dislike him personally, but you're not a fan of the bit like how the producer is in the game and.
Well, yeah, that's just one thing that annoyed me. It's the whole thing of like the artist and the artwork and what comes first and all that sort of meta narrative stuff. And then I just feel like Sam Lake put himself in there just because his head's up his own arse. And then what annoys me is then if we then skip on, as you seem to be hinting at here.
Oh, I had no idea what you're looking at.
He is now also nominated in the performer in a supporting role, which I do not agree with.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he wasn't in it very much. Again, I can't comment on Alan Wake 2.
Well, he's in it quite a lot, but it's also not even his voice.
Oh.
It's literally just his face.
They did that with Death
That's
Stranding.
honestly a thing that I found really confusing with Alan Wake 2, because you have like a different actor and then a different voice actor, and it's just because they have these real like footage pieces. So it's just, to me, it was just all a bit. That's very confusing. That he like, what are you nominating? Like, because I thought that's usually like voice performance, not. But
exactly, and he's the only
one
from the game that's nominated, and I sort of feel like the others were better. Have you just nominated him because he wrote it and you feel compelled to? So anyway, this is performer in a supporting role. So yeah, Sam Lake as Alex Casey, Andrew Wincott as Raphael in Baldur's Gate 3, Deborah Wilson as Sarah Yunda in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Seer,
Seer, okay.
I love that woman. I think she's amazing.
Yeah.
I
agree.
yes, I know.
I love her.
Ralph Ineson as Sid in 16. Tony Todd as Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Oh, he was good.
And Tracy Wiles as Jaheira in Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm gonna say Deborah Wilson. I love Ralph Ineson as Sid,
but it's just him. I feel like, you know what I mean.
That's why Ben doesn't like him.
What? Sorry, I didn't.
You think that Ralph is just himself because he's.
Oh, he is himself. He's the guy from The Office.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Office?
Yeah.
The original. It's like Finchy. It's the sex pest. That's all I can hear is Finchy the sex pest.
You're not wrong.
It kind of ruins it a bit for me.
I'm into it.
I bet you are. Actually, his voice I prefer in Diablo because you don't see a face, so you hear the voice, and then you can kind of put. It's not like your brain's not going, wait a minute, that voice does not go with that person.
Was he Lorath Nar?
In Diablo, I think he.
Oh, I can't remember the character's name.
I can't remember either.
Some random guy that follows on a journey. I don't know what the story was apart from kill mother. Absolutely no idea. After 60 odd hours, I was like, oh, I killed her. Great.
60.
Something like that.
Wow.
So then there's performer in a leading role, which is again a lot of Baldur's Gate. So Amelia Tyler as the narrator in Baldur's Gate 3, Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Naji Jeter as Miles Morales in Spider-Man 2, Neil Newbon as Astarion, Samantha Beat as Karlak, and Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker.
Ben Starr was.
I was saying no Ben.
I agree. I was surprised Ben is not nominated.
He's the best thing about that game. Like, sorry, he is.
Yeah. I think the voice actors in general in 16 were good. I feel like like Final Fantasy is getting a bit snubbed here.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It gets that way a lot. Like, and it has done for many, many years. Like, I mean, music, we were saying music's been snubbed in 16 here, but that's been true for many Final Fantasy titles over the years. So, and if there's one thing you can rely on a Final Fantasy game for, it's that its music's going to be a slap.
Is it? I mean, are there like Japanese games that have been nominated in all these places as well, or is it, with it being the BAFTAs, are they very much favouring Western and kind of British based?
You often find Nintendo games get nominated.
I was going to say Zelda's nominated for loads of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think. Well, I mean, Nintendo just make good games, so that's probably why. And Mario Wonder's in here in places as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Family Game is no longer just the Nintendo Game Award, which is nice for once. I mean, I think it's interesting with 16 because for me, like, I think it doesn't necessarily excel in gameplay, but I think the performances and the music and the graphics are all the things that are award worthy.
Yeah.
But then it's also nominated here under narrative, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with.
I don't know.
The first 4 hours,
I don't like. I see, again, I'm not sure if people have finished 16, but I think that 16 started completely differently to how it ended. And I liked how it started a lot more than how it ended.
That's fair.
I feel like that's all kind of JRPGs. They all go, you always fight God at the end. It's like it goes, it always starts somewhere kind of down to earth, and then at the end you're like, you're summoning gods to fight the Ender Dragons and all this stuff. It's yeah.
So narrative, we've got Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Dredge, it's a bit of a surprise. Final Fantasy 16, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. For me, I think it's between Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake.
What was it for again? The narrative.
For me, it's Baldur's Gate probably. And I know I haven't even finished it, but just from what I've played, I'd probably say Baldur's Gate.
The game's become this phenomenon because of its narrative.
Yeah.
and I think that can't be faulted, really. Tears of the Kingdom surprises me a bit. It's a good narrative for a Zelda game, because Zelda, it's typically Princess Zelda's been captured, go save her, and that's not really any different in Tears of the Kingdom. But there's little bits in there that mix it up. But best narrative, I don't know about that.
Did either of you play Dredge?
Yes, I love
haven't,
Dredge.
but I've heard it's
loved
very
it.
good.
I thought Dredge was really great. I really enjoyed that, actually.
Same. I played it over Christmas on the Steam Deck, and it was just incredible. And did you play the DLC as well?
I did, yes.
Yeah, it was haunting. It was quite.
Yeah.
It was like, someone described it as like, is it a Lovecraftian horror? But like Lovecraft is based on, it's eldritch horror kind of,
Okay.
but also it's horror, but not. It's eerie. It's not necessarily like
It's the better kind of horror. It's not like
Yeah.
jump scares. It's just like moody.
it's like the Silent Hill kind
So,
of atmospheric horror, which
Yeah.
I really loved, and it was weird, so weird.
I'll have to
But
think
also a
about that one.
fishing game.
But also a fishing game, an eldritch
Also
horror
cozy.
fishing game. Yeah, I played
A
it just.
cozy horror.
I played it just after Dave the Diver, and I prefer Dredge to Dave the Diver. As good as,
Agreed.
I've played Dave the Diver, but
I've
I
not
haven't
played
played
Dave the
Dredge,
Diver
so
yet.
I will take note of that.
yeah. Oh, Dave the Diver is good. It's just trying not to play on the pun too much. It's like a mile wide and an inch deep. So there are lots and lots of mini things in it, but there's no like depth to the actual mini games in it.
Did anyone say who they thought was going to win Best Actor in a Leading Role?
It better be Amelia. Please give it to Amelia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I sort of
She is.
feel like she's the main character in that more than the others.
That
Yeah,
voice
100%.
it's warm. Is the first word that comes to my mind? It's warm.
And I feel like people don't, because they don't attach it to a face. So you forget, and then you turn on the game and she starts talking. You're like, oh, yeah, you're right. It feels warm. It feels homely. It's the voice that's kind of accompanying you through this story.
Yeah, she's the
DM.
friend. Exactly. She's the DM. It's the friend that's leading you through.
Yeah. Though I really love Miles Morales, so I just...
True.
That's true. And
I
Neil
genuinely
Newman as
love
Astarion.
Miles in this game, and I'm like,
Yes.
Nadish, is it? Did a really great job.
Yeah.
I do think she would probably win, but
Yeah, I don't know. The BAFTAs tend to love.
true, they're
throwing a
very
curveball.
surprising at times. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Samantha Bayard, because
Carl
she has
Anka
sort of come up through BAFTA stuff, and she was nominated last year as like a rising star. So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to her as a pat on the back.
Yeah, she is brilliant as well.
We'll do two more, which are sort of the biggest ones, really. First one is British game, which is a list of games
Brexit. Brexit game.
and the winner is politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Brexit game. Which one's got the misery kind of fallout?
Well, it's like, on the one hand, this is really showing the breadth of games in Britain, but also not. Well,
Not good ones.
there's one that I know you're going to pick as the winner. So there are nominees: Cassette Beasts.
Oh, the Pokemon game.
Yeah.
That was not Palworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually
Dead
very
Island
good.
2.
Oh, that's the one that we sucked at,
What?
isn't it?
Which one?
Probably Dead Island 2.
Oh,
I mean, zombies.
yeah.
Sure. Disney Illusion Island, which I played,
Yeah.
and it's quite
Okay.
fun as a family game, but it was a
These
nice
are all
little
English.
studio in
These are all
Essex.
British games.
Yes, because it's British
I
game.
know. I'm just reminding people.
Funny that. Football Manager 2024.
Yes.
No.
That is a
I got it
game
on my
that
phone. I
exists.
played it.
You're going to like the next one. Viewfinder.
Freaking
Oh, yeah.
love
Very
Viewfinder.
good.
And then lastly, Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Age of Smegma. No.
Not Age of Sigmar.
As
I've only
much
played
as
2 of these,
Viewfinder-
and out of those, it's Viewfinder for me. I've really enjoyed Viewfinder.
See, as much as
Same.
Viewfinder is probably the clear winner here, I will say Cassette Beasts is actually very good.
Not played it.
It's what you get when you mix Pokemon with the 80s.
Mm.
And that's a
You say
vibe
that, and I'm like, I'm into it.
Have you played it?
It
No.
is exactly that.
Oh, I
You
feel like
mix 80s pop
yeah, you'd love it.
references with Pokemon, and you get cassette beasts, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. It's one of those that, like, I think it's on Game Pass. So I was like, oh, I'll play that at some point, and I just have not got around.
I
I
really
got
want
it
to play
on
that.
Steam.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah, I've heard
portable
really
game
good
Steam,
things.
though.
Viewfinder though is just I loved every second of that game. It's one of those. It's the very, very, very rare game where I get to the end and go, I want more. Like I need a sequel, or I just want to play more of this because what they did.
Viewfinder is nominated for a few others as well, and I think that BAFTA is trying to position that as a sort of indie darling. So I can imagine them giving it to that.
I'm kind of surprised I don't see nominations for that game that I played. The what was it? The Jet Set Radio-esque.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Oh, Killer Frequency.
No, they had the Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Because that had the art style was stunning. The music is one of the best
really
I've had. But I've not seen it in any award categories.
When did they cut it off?
Right.
Did they cut it off end of 2023?
I think
like
so.
What games can be nominated?
Yeah.
But this came out in like October, I think, or something.
I would imagine with that, the argument is that it only works as a sort of pastiche of Jet Set Radio. So it's not the most like original, even though it's good at what it does.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be a mark against it, though. Because I don't know when the cutoff point for the awards in terms of date is.
I think it's definitely within, because it was October or something.
No, but just I wanted to bring up a different example, but Resident Evil 4. Because Resident Evil 4 is a remake. And a lot of people discount it immediately from being nominated for anything because it's a remake.
Yeah, we banned it from our game.
Very fair.
No, we didn't.
Did we not?
No.
Oh.
Damn it, it was in the top 10.
I can remember.
I put it in there.
Okay.
I was going to say, I don't think that's fair because like people sit there and they're like, oh, it's not like you just use reused assets. It's like, no, you're building a new game.
Like completely from the ground up.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the story. That's what people say. You already have the story and you have the characters, I guess, established, but that's
so
about
that
it.
Not true with Super Mario Wonder?
No, I'm not talking against you. I'm talking
fight. This is great content.
but because I got really frustrated when the Game Awards happened last year, and everyone was like, "Why is Resident Evil 4 there?" I'm like, because it's a freaking good game. Like you can't. It's very difficult to get lightning to strike twice with the same game, and Capcom have managed it twice within the same series. And I'm like, that should be commendable in my opinion. But yeah, no, Resident Evil 4 is not nominated here at all, and I wondered if it was because it was March last year. I didn't know if that was too early.
I always wonder if it's like if the game's coming out early, is it at a disadvantage when it comes like because people will remember it less, I guess, because there's been so many games last year. Honestly, like I'm trying to think what else came out, like. And then when you see some of the nominations, I'm like, oh yeah, that came out. But there's so many other games. I just feel like, I think if you're on the earlier side of the year, you're probably a bit disadvantaged. Unless
sometimes
it's
sometimes it works in a
Dead
decent
Space
way.
was also beginning last year.
Sometimes it works in a good way because Hogwarts came out at the beginning of last year and that kind of got snubbed by pretty much everything.
Actually, yeah, you're right. That's nominated.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's nominated for multiple awards. And yet Resident Evil and Dead Space aren't.
There you go.
Wow.
I think also it can be a good. I mean, I feel like we're seeing like the beginning of the year used to be like no one ever released a game at the beginning of the year, and now suddenly everyone's doing it. But I also feel like for something like Elden Ring, that worked, and then the rest of the year was then just one long meme, and it's like, well, of course it's going to win everything. Then I mean, it didn't win the BAFTA last year, and it should have done. Not Vampire fucking Survivors.
But do you know one of the
I was so surprised by that. That was probably the biggest shock
I was
ever.
so salty
Why are you salty?
because I was waiting downstairs for the winners to be announced so that they could come down and I could interview them. And an Elden Ring won something else, and Miyazaki did not come back. And I was like, it's fine. He's going to win best game, and he's going to come back, and I get to interview him. And then fucking Vampire Survivors walked past, and I was like,
I'm so sorry.
Are you happy you won?
But you did interview.
Why did you beat Elden Ring?
You did interview Miyazaki a few weeks ago.
I did.
I was going to say, you got your time.
You got it.
You had your
Oh,
time.
You got there in the end.
Do you know one of the first games that like released and was like really successful kind of early on in the year was like the Switch with Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn when they came out in March.
Well, Horizon Zero Dawn wasn't.
Well, not at the very start.
Overshadowed.
Yeah, but those two games being like as epic as they are releasing at that time, they were popular in the end. And then it's still then people are like, oh, maybe we should release games in May and March. You know, that earlier on, and I'm happy with that. Although I remember Hitman 3 came out in January, and that just got completely forgotten about, which is a shame because it's incredible.
It's usually the Christmas rush, isn't it? Everyone wants to release stuff October, November, or right before the summer. So like, May, June time.
Yeah, I feel like people are just like they'll buy games anytime now. If you can play a game, if there's not a lot of releases out there and you release a game that people are quite interested in, you can do so well. I mean, Pal World is a perfect example because that came out. There wasn't really anything either side of it, and just everybody piled into it
for a week.
Yeah,
that's just games in general.
There is still some people more than Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, good.
No, not Midnight Suns. What's it called? Suicide Squad.
Oh, no one plays that.
Oh yeah.
No, right, there is one more.
Midnight Suns is one of those games where like they released it and you knew it was going to go on sale within weeks, but I still had to buy it as a Christmas present the week before, and then it did. It went half price the week after I bought it.
Was that Suicide Squad?
No, I'm not buying that.
Oh,
Midnight Suns.
Oh, Midnight Suns. Yeah, it's just been added to PlayStation Plus, hasn't it?
Yeah. All right, last award then, and I want to know what everyone's answer is here. It's for best game. The nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Dave the Diver, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
I know what my answer is.
I think what's going to win is Baldur's Gate, but personally, because I haven't finished that yet, for me personally, it would be Tears of the Kingdom. I loved Tears of the Kingdom. I loved the creativity on like gameplay, the sheer endless possibilities that you can do in this game and what people have done. And I've played it for so many hours and I could play for so many hours more. The music, I loved it. So for me, it will probably be Tears of the Kingdom, but I don't think that will win. I think it will be Baldur's Gate.
I agree. I can't say anything you didn't already say.
I think it would, for me, it would be just Tears of the Kingdom, but I think that would be the runaway winner for me in a few months' time. Because I've done the dungeons, but I've not done real like proper exploring, which I think is my favorite part of Zelda. So I'm kind of saving that for best. So I think once I go back to it after I've done Act 2 of Baldur's Gate 3, I'll go back and do a lot more exploring, and then I think I'll really enjoy it. 'Cause, just like coming across things accidentally or just through curiosity is just one of the best things in a game. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed what I played of Elden Ring. And I think that's what the vibe I get from Dragon's Dogma 2 as well, is that it's going to be a thing that you just wander around and you come across this giant bird with 3 heads or whatever. And then, you're in a fight and that leads you somewhere else. And it's that kind of feeling looks like what Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be doing. And
I really hope so.
What I love in Tears of the Kingdom. When are the reviews for Dragon's Dogma 2 out? Do we know?
Review codes went out about a day ago.
So it won't be for a while.
So I think it's next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on release.
Oh yeah, Capcom, are they usually early?
No. I think with Dragon's Dogma, I think that the main story is maybe like 30 hours, so doable in a week. But if you want to see everything and explore, it's like over 100.
Okay.
So yeah,
can't wait.
I guess I'll be slightly different then. I mean, for me, my favorite of them is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I think in terms of the actual winner, I'm going to say Alan Wake 2. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but I feel like it's the sort of artsy, wanky bullshit.
Yeah, I can see that actually.
I'm really glad that Mario Wonder got nominated though.
Dave the Diver will not win.
Give it to
we said that about Vampire Survivors. So.
Yeah. Give it to that.
I'm really happy that Mario Wonder got nominated because I think that there's something about that game that really is magical. I only actually played Mario Wonder a few weeks ago. It's just a pure game. It's a game, like I think that it's really nice that a game like Mario Wonder can still flourish because games nowadays are trying to be AAA blockbusters or these thought-provoking art pieces. And I think sometimes it's nice to have a game that's just a game and do very well at it. And Mario Wonder absolutely does that.
It must be nice as well for parents to have a game that is brilliant, like top. And I mean, it is to me AAA, but like a AAA game that kids can enjoy, and it's not one way like, there's a bit of violence in it, there's a bit of that. It's like no, kids can play it from 3 up or whatever, and I
was going to ask if you both have played it because I've played it with AJ over Christmas and keeps running away from me and I kept dying because of that. So it's a great time.
So
no, I actually loved it. It was really fun, but I was like, why are you not waiting for me? Like, I can't see.
We haven't played the game together since It Takes Two.
Oh, well, I'm not surprised, I guess.
It was.
No.
It
I mean,
is so good.
that was actually It Takes Two was my game of the year that year, but it was.
Yes,
Oh.
It was fun.
Yeah.
that was.
I was a
Incredible.
mess at the end of that game. I am not a crier of any kind, but that game ruined me by the end of it. I had to literally leave the room. I couldn't deal with it at all.
I disagreed with the ending.
We are actually, well, yeah, but you disagreed with the ending of the theater, the show we went to the other day, and I love a gritty ending that's kind of maybe not happy. You know, the standing at the sky's edge. Like, how dare those two get back together at the end?
Yeah, like for me, once you're broken up, you're broken up. Don't get back together.
No,
If you're gonna get a divorce, just get a divorce. I don't care what your child says.
Well, go play It Takes Two. Also, we need to play No Way Out on stream at some point.
Yes.
Oh,
Or A Way Out. Is it A Way Out?
A Way Out.
A Way
A Way
Out,
Out.
yeah.
I feel like
the-
I'd like to play that, but because stuff in it got spoiled for me, it kind of the impact's lost.
I did a theme was a bit spoiled for me, but I've no idea how it works in the game because I played a little bit but didn't get that far. So I will try and resist looking at anything. But anyway, let's wrap it up by asking you what you are looking forward to for the next few months. Maria, what are you excited about in gaming or in your life in general?
I'm excited
All
to
the
play
big
more.
questions.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Well, I honestly no idea. No, I'm very excited to play more Rebirth. I'm very just excited to see how this plays out. Hype for that. I'm excited for Alone in the Dark actually next week. I think, yeah. Love me a good horror game, so I'm excited for that. And in my life, honestly, I don't know. Just playing more games, I guess, and not being so stressed.
Good luck with that. Deleting Twitter from your phone is the best stress reliever.
So I heard. Maybe I have to do it.
So nice. We do miss out on things, but. And Joesephyr, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
I mean, Dragon's Dogma 2 is probably the next game on my list that I want to kind of get my teeth sunk into. But to be honest with you, like with games in general, I think because I've been really overwhelmed with RPGs, I've actually been revisiting a lot of older games. Like recently, I've been playing Pokemon Yellow because I've never played it.
Oh,
I have never played the first 3 generations of Pokemon games. So I've been really enjoying that and like cracking up my old 3DS and just like rekindling the gaming experience, because I've actually been taking a couple of weeks off from streaming, content creation, YouTube, and all of that, because I kind of just want to reestablish my relationship with video games and kind of take a mental health break from it all, which has been really valuable, and I'm really glad that I did that. Things I'm looking forward to past that, I'm actually going to EVO in Las Vegas this year in the summer because I have entered Tekken, Street Fighter 6, and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising at that event. So the training is going to have to start fairly soon. I'm under no illusions of grandeur that I'm going to win, but I'd like to not like crap out completely. Yeah, and beyond that, and I've been drawing and painting a lot, and I'm actually looking at opening an art shop soon.
wow.
So that people get. I've done a lot of sort of Final Fantasy pieces. I've done a lot. One of them you can actually see here is a painting that I've done.
Oh yeah, I saw that, the original Final Fantasy 1, the ending, right?
Yeah, no, like a Warrior of Light has always been kind of like a thing for me. So I'm looking forward to just doing art and just expressing more of myself within my content, as opposed to here's how you do X, Y, and Z in a video game.
Perfect. And Ed, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Dragon's Dogma. I think we all are. No, I think beyond that, like the next thing for me, the next big thing is I want to get up to date in 14 ahead of Dawn Trail, and I'm determined to make that happen.
It's not going to happen.
It will happen. I will make it happen.
Sure.
So as much as I'm like, I need a break from Final Fantasy, I'm also looking forward to getting back into it. But I feel like 14 is sort of its own thing. It's a bit different.
Yeah, it's always on.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're going to go for a massage in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, we are.
That'd be nice.
Not one of those perverts. Yeah.
No,
but,
an actual back massage.
Yeah.
Oh, and it will
Which
be
I
amazing.
No, it's yeah. I used to do it regularly, and my partner still does. But yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh, I'd love to.
Have you
go
not
for a
done it
regular
before?
one.
Oh, we not regularly, but like we've had the odd one. Yeah, we had one on holiday, didn't we?
We did. She was a bit pinchy. Yeah.
Well, mine kept sniffing all the way through, and I was like, I swear to God, if you give me COVID.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, she was like just pushing, like just pushing stuff, and it was like hurting a bit. And I'm like, it was like a weird thing that she wasn't going in the muscles. It was like ripping the skin off the flesh, off the.
Wow,
stuff.
graphic.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Okay, cool.
Maybe go to a different masseuse.
Hopefully this person will be better. Although we did have one in Brighton that was incredible. She was tough as nails. She she could like knock a wall down with her fists. She was great. I would very much have her like once a month. Yeah. Anyway.
How about you, Ben? What are you looking forward to? Let's move this on.
I'm very much looking forward to that massage and Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm looking forward to having a week and a half off work. Next Wednesday is my last one until the end of the month. Can't wait. I'm actually going to go to Insomnia on the Friday.
Oh.
Are either of you going to be there?
I'd love to, but it's so far for me. Like a train ticket from here to Birmingham is like 150 quid.
I thought you were from Birmingham.
Me? No, I live in Essex.
Oh.
Where did you get that? Do I sound brummy?
I thought you were a little bit brummy. I don't know. They're all anything below like Nottingham are Cockneys.
He can't tell the difference.
They're all Cockneys.
Don't take it personally.
Fine, I'm the least Essex boy you'll ever meet.
Must be, yeah. You're not orange.
No,
Also,
I'm grey, apparently.
No, not at all.
Also, in that week off, we're going to see your parents, which means I get to have puppy cuddles.
Oh, we're off to visit a council, like a block of flats as well, aren't we? We are literally
not to live in.
No, we're going to Sheffield on a day trip to visit a block of flats that the theatre play that we went to was about. So we're going to do a tourist trip to some flats.
A pilgrimage to Sheffield.
Yeah.
Nice.
Something it makes it different. Not going to York for once. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be exciting. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma
chat says Sheffield is surreal.
I've only been a couple of times when I was going to see the football with my family.
The football
with but as a Barnsley fan, I felt dirty every time I went there. But yeah, Sheffield, it's a strong city.
I used to go to the card tournaments back in the day, and yeah, then you had obviously sort of Doncaster's in a similar area, and I'll never forget it. The one time I went to Doncaster for a card tournament, we walked past a pub, and there was fecal matter spread across the door of the pub, and I was like, so that's what Doncaster's like.
That keeps out Southerners. It's what you do on your door.
It's succeeded.
No, we used to go to Doncaster every single weekend to Donny Market to get the fresh fruit and fresh meat and veg and everything. Yeah. Don't diss on Donny. Ed Miliband's
it's grim from the drive from the train station that I've experienced.
Yeah, the train station.
Did you not hear the fecal matter?
Everywhere smells up there. It's north. It's it's the countryside.
I'll stay down here, thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, Maria. Where can people find you? Because when they want to go and follow you and check you out, where can they get that?
They can go. Listen, luckily, my handle Marignetic you can find on pretty much all the platforms, and you'll find me. So, but predominantly I stream on Twitch. So if you want to stop by, that's where I'll be.
When's
Monday,
your next stream?
Tuesday, Friday, tomorrow, Sunday. That's when I usually stream.
Brilliant. And Joesephyr, when you're back, where will you be? What will you be doing?
Well, you can find me like literally with the handle you can see here, with the E in it, because so Joesephyr. And then you can find me on Twitch, and I'll be back on stream probably from Monday. And then YouTube, you can find me on there as well. Instagram, TikTok, every platform, it's always the same.
Perfect. Ed, where can people find you?
You can find me at ed_nights on Twitch and on Twitter. And I'll be streaming some more Sekiro on Monday.
Very nice.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of difficult games,
Love Sekiro.
Did you get upset?
I did debate my life choices last week, yes.
Oh.
But I'm going to stick with it.
I've got further than you before.
Well, no, you haven't.
Did you beat the Horseman?
I have played it before and got further than you, but just on Monday I was playing it again like, oh god, this is actually really hard. I'd forgotten.
Yeah. It's great though. And you can find me at BiggusBennus, which is there on the screen. I can't do it quite as professionally as Joesephyr did there.
Oh no, I did that first, and then I did that.
But yeah, you can find me on there.
Follow me here.
I've got Let's Play of, in fact, the latest one of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on YouTube came out today. The next one's on Saturday, I think. They're going to be up sporadically when I can record them. And yeah, I'm mainly focusing on Twitch these days. So Sunday and Tuesdays are going to be Baldur's Gate 3, the Be a Dick playthrough, where I'm a dick to everybody, no matter what the consequences, which is great fun. Because sometimes like being a dick to people results in the best response, or like you get the most out of it. Sometimes you're a dick to somebody and they go, "Oh yeah, you're completely right. Thanks for putting me, straight. Here's a gift." So I'm like, "Oh, okay." Genuinely, that's Baldur's Gate 3 for you. And but yeah, and on Friday we do community nights. We just finished Friday Night Wrestling, but save up your coins because the next series or the next season of Friday Night Wrestling will be probably starting at the end of April. There you go.
Nice.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for watching. Go to swappingjoysticks.com if you want all your swapping joysticks, all for your swapping joysticks needs. And Marignetic and Joesephyr, thank you so much for joining us for the second week in a row after the disaster.
Same time next
disaster. It's been as long as it works. I think we're just going to save the VOD. That'll be it. It'll all work.
Thank you so much for having us. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it's been lovely. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much to the chat as well for joining and putting up with our chatting. Have a good one.
Bye everyone.
Bye.